Hello everyone, welcome back. So those who have joined, for you guys, there is a question. Okay, can you use lambda functions within list comprehension? Yes or no? Okay. Hello, hello. Okay, so most of you are saying yes, we can use. Okay, so yes is the correct answer. That we can use lambda function inside list comprehension. Okay, but do you guys know that these lambda function are especially used or especially useful with the higher order functions, okay? And what are the higher order functions? So mainly the higher order functions are map, okay? So let me write it over here. Map function, filter function, and reduce, okay? So these are some of the higher order functions present in Python, okay? Now, what do you mean by higher order functions? So higher order functions basically means that the functions which are capable of taking another function as a parameter, okay? But before moving or before going to higher order functions, we will start with the very basics of functions. Then we'll see lambda functions, okay? And when we'll be completely understand that what is lambda function, then we'll continue with the higher order functions, okay? Because in most of the cases, in higher order functions, we use lambda function only, okay? So before going to the higher order functions, we have to have the knowledge of functions, lambda functions, okay? And then only we can easily understand these higher order functions, okay? Now, let's start with the lambda functions, okay? Let's just first talk about the lambda functions, okay? So what are lambda functions? Lambda functions in Python are basically called as the anonymous functions, okay? It means that they don't have a name, okay? Like our regular functions, the functions which we define using the def keyword. In that, what we do? In that functions, we use the def keyword along with the function name, and then we give some parameters, okay? So that we have already seen that how to create a normal function. So we are not going to discuss that thing. But how the lambda functions are different from the normal functions, we are talking about that. So in lambda functions, just like the normal function, there is no naming. Okay. So that's why they are called as anonymous functions. Okay. Now, They are means the lambda functions are basically used when we need a small or one line function, okay, for a short period of time. So that's why these lambda functions are especially useful in the places where we are using the higher order functions, map, filter, and shorted and reduce. At these places, these lambda functions is very important. Okay, now let's just do what? I'll just show you a simple program, okay, of a lambda function, and then I'll show you uh, the same for the normal function, okay? The same thing to achieve a normal function, okay? So let's first see the normal function. So what I'll do, I'll create a function to do the square of a number, okay? And that function will take a parameter of a number. So let's see that. So I'll create a function called as square, which will take x as a parameter. X is a number, and it will return x into x, okay? And we'll call the function. Okay, so this function does what? This function returns the square of a number. And the number, how we are taking the number? We are taking the number as a parameter in the function. Okay, so this is a normal function for doing a square of a number. Okay, now in respect to this square function, what we are going to do, we will create a lambda function now, and we'll see that how a basic lambda function is created. Okay, and what syntax is followed. So first of all, will create an object. You don't need to create an object, but because at these means now I have to print the result also. That's why I need to store it somewhere. So because of that, I need a object. But there will be places where we don't need to store the lambda function. Okay, so that's why. So square, or let's make it square one. Okay, and now lambda x colon and then x and we'll print square one. Okay, so square of 3 is 9, so 9 is printed over here. Okay, now what is this? Okay, let me explain you about this. So whenever you have to create a lambda function, first of all, you have to make sure that you have to use the keyword lambda. Okay, so whenever you have to create a lambda function, you have to write the keyword lambda. This lambda keyword will ensure that now you are going to create a lambda function. Okay, so you have to use this keyword lambda. Okay, after lambda you have to give the arguments, okay, or the parameters, that how many parameters you need in your function. So in my case, means in this example, I just needed one parameter, okay, or one argument. So I have taken just that only, x. Okay, then you have to give a comma. Okay, after comma you have to give the expression that what you want to perform in your side your function. Okay, in your function, so we want to multiply the number with itself so that it can be a square. Okay, so because of that, we have what we have done, we have just multiplied x with x. Okay, now our lambda function for doing square of a number is completed, okay, in one line. And it is so small, as you can see, we have needed two lines, one line for defining it, and in one line we have performed the operation in a normal function. Okay, but in a lambda function the same task has been done in just one line. Okay, so yeah, this is lambda function. If we'll talk about the syntax, if if we'll talk about the syntax of lambda functions, so it will look like this: lambda arguments colon and expression. So this is the syntax of lambda function. Okay, now let's create let's take one more example of lambda functions, okay? And we'll take the example with the normal function also. So first we are going to create the normal function for the same task, and then we'll create the lambda function of that function, okay? So let's create a function to add two numbers, okay? So def add ab return a plus b. Okay, so it adding two number 5 and 4. Now let's create the lambda function for this. Okay, so first of all, you have to mention the lambda keyword. Now, after the keyword, you have to write how many arguments you want. Okay, so I want only two arguments here, a and b for my two numbers. So a and b. Okay, then colon to separate it from that. It should be that before column there is arguments and after column there is expression, and then a plus b. What we want to perform? So we want to perform the addition between these two numbers, a plus b. Okay, a and b. Now your add one has been created. In add one, what you can do, you can provide 2 6 6, so it will be 12. So this is the lambda function to add two numbers, and it's very simple. Lambda, then the arguments, how many arguments you require. After the argument you have to give a colon. After colon you have to give the expression. Okay, now let's take it one level up. Okay, let's take it one level up and let's see. So now let's do what? Let's create a function to check if a number is a even number or odd. Okay, so let's give the function name as is even. This function will take one parameter. Okay, and what we are going to do, basically we are going to check that if x 2 equal to 0, else odd. Okay, so 4 is a even number, so we are getting even. Now for this function, how we can create a lambda function? Okay, so it's very simple. First of all, you have to write the keyword lambda, then how many arguments you require. So you require only one argument x. Okay, and then if you remember the list comprehension thing which we have seen yesterday, so in that when there was if else concept, so how we are writing the if else concept? Okay, the same approach you have to follow here also. So first of all, if the condition will be true, then what should be printed? So even. Then if x 0 else odd. Okay, and let's give 5, so odd. Okay, 5 is odd value, so we are getting odd. Okay, let's take one more example. Let's see one more example. Now this time I'm not going to create the normal function. I'm just directly going to write the lambda function. Okay, so guys, tell me, have you understood the lambda function or not? Okay, so most of the people are saying yes. So what we can do now, let's do what? I have few questions, okay? So you guys now know what you have to do. So basically you have to answer it in yes or no. Now, are lambda functions a type of anonymous function? Okay. Yes. So the answer is also yes. Yes, they are called as the anonymous function because we do not assign a name to it, okay? Okay, guys. Your next question is, can lambda functions be assigned to variables? Okay, so lambda functions, yes. Now only we have seen in our examples that we were assigning it to a object, or you can call it as a variable also. So yes, they can be assigned to a variable. Okay. One last question for this set, that is, can lambda functions take multiple arguments? Okay. Now let's move to the next topic, that is the higher order functions. Okay. So now I hope you guys have understood the lambda functions. Okay, because lambda functions are going to be used in the inside the higher order functions. Okay, now how we are going to use it, that I'll tell you now. Okay, before, let's talk about now the higher order function, that what is a higher order function. Okay, see, a higher order function in a Python function is, you can say that it takes another function as an argument. Okay, so any function who is capable of taking another function as an argument, okay, so that function can be called as a higher order function. Okay. Okay, first point. So let me write these points so it will be more easy for you guys. The first point is that takes another function as an argument. Second point is that it returns function as a result. Okay. So it can return, or it can do what? Or it can return a function as a result also. Third one is, or it can do both. Okay. So does both. So if it is doing both, then also it is a higher order function only. Okay. Now these higher order functions are super useful in functional programming and is very common in Python for working with data in a concise and expressive way. Okay. Now I'll show you one simple example of how you can create a higher order function of your own. Okay. Or how a higher order function looks like. Okay. So let's do what? Let's create a simple function def greet. Okay. And this function will basically do what? It is going to return hello. Okay. Then we'll create one more user defined function only. Okay. Now this function is able to take a function as a parameter. Okay. And it can return a function also. So now what we are going to do, we have created a function called as call underscore function. And in the parameter also we are taking a function only and we are returning the same thing which we have taken as a function. So we are returning a function only. Okay. Now in the print, what we'll do, in the print, we'll call the function. Okay. Means we are just printing the call function. Okay. But in the parameter, means in the argument, what we'll do, in the argument, we'll pass the function. Okay. We'll pass a function name. So which function name? Greet. And now just let's just execute it. So as you can see, when we have executed, so whatever we wanted to perform in the greet function, that is printed over here. Means that is returned. Hello is returned. Okay. When we have passed greet as a parameter in call function. So now this call function, which is a user defined function, which is created by us, is what? Is it is also an higher order function only. Okay. So it is also an higher order function. Okay. So this is also an example of a higher order function only. Hello, hello. Okay. Let's see one more example. I'm showing you ways, okay, how higher order functions look like. Then what we are going to do, let's create one function called as outer. Let's create one function as outer. Okay. Now, basically what we are doing in this example, we are following a approach of nested function. Okay. So we will have a parent function. Inside that parent function, we are going to take one child function, and inside the child function, we will return some value. Okay. And then we are inside the parent function, we are going to return the child function. Okay. And then we'll see that how we are going to call that function. So we have our outer function, then we have taken a nested function called as inner. Inside the inner, we are going to return inside inner function. coming out of the inner function, we will return the inner function itself, okay? And at the function calling time, what we are going to do, we'll store the outer in an object, and now when we'll print it, so inside inner function, this what we wanted to return, that is returned here. So the first one, it satisfies that we are taking a parameter of a function, means first one, that it takes another function and as an argument, that is also satisfied. Then in the second example, what we are doing, it is returning a function. As you can see, the outer function is returning the inner function, okay? So that situation means the second thing is also satisfied, okay? Now, these were some user-defined functions what we wanted to perform, okay? Now, this is also a higher order function only. What we have done here, this is also an example of higher order function. This is also an example of higher order function only. Now, there are some built-in higher order functions also. Means you can create your own higher order functions also. Now, there are some built-in higher order functions which are very useful. So let's explore those functions. Okay. So I have already in the starting of the video only, I just mentioned that names, that is map, filter, and reduce. And these three higher order functions comes with their use cases. Okay. So all these three functions have their own use cases. So what I'll do, before explaining these functions, I'll just simply show you an example of this function and then I'm going to explain you. So then it will be more easy for you guys to understand, okay? So let's first see the example of the map function, okay? And I'll just give you a brief about the map function, that whenever we use a map function, it applies a function to all the items in an iterable. Okay. Now, what can be an iterable? An iterable can be a list, can be a tuple, can be a set, can be a dictionary. Okay. Or can be a string also. But more in most of the cases, because we have studied in our previous classes, live sessions, we have seen lists. So in most of the examples, we are going to consider list only. Okay. So this map function basically applies a particular function to all the items of an iterable. Okay. So for that, we will need an iterable first. So let's take an iterable nums. Okay, so I'll create a nums list object. Okay, and I'll create it a list and I'll store 1, 2, 3, 4 in it. Okay, okay. So uh, I have created a nums object of list. Okay, and in the list I have stored 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, integer values. Now what I want to do, I want to do the square of each item. Okay, means uh, suppose 2 square will be 4, 3 square will be 9. So I want to perform the square operation on each item. Okay, so for that I'll need to use this map function. Now how to use this map function, let's see that. Okay. Now, this map function takes two parameters. Okay. First parameter which it takes is is a function itself, and second parameter the map function takes is an iterable. Okay. So let's say, let me show you the syntax. So first parameter is the function and second parameter is the iterable name. Okay. In which we are going to apply this function. Okay. That. So now we don't have any function with us. Okay. So what we can do? So what we can do? We can basically apply lambda function to it, because as you know the lambda functions are what? The anonymous function. So we don't need to create it using the def keyword, and we don't need to provide a name to it. So we can directly create it. Okay. So map lambda, and we have to do what? We have to square the items of the list. So now the function has been created to do the square. Now on what iterable we have to perform? So iterable is with us, that is nums. So on nums we have to perform it, and then we'll do what? We have to simply print squares. Now there is still an issue. If we'll print squares, we are not going to get the desired output which we want. Okay. Instead of that, what we are getting a map object at this location. Okay, this is the memory address, and this is what? This is an iterator. This is what? This is an iterator. Okay. So yeah, this is one problem with this map, filter, and reduce, that they directly don't give the outputs. Okay, the desired outputs. In place of that, they gives the iterators. Okay, they give an iterator. They don't give a list. Okay, it is a lazy thing. Yeah, means it does not compute the values immediately. So you need to convert it to a list or a tuple or a loop over it to see the actual values. So how we can do that? So for that, you need to use the list constructor. Okay, for that you will need to use the list constructor. So how you can apply the list constructor? So whenever you are printing it, you can apply it over here. Okay, so whatever the object, on the object also you can store it like this list and this. Or what you can do, if you don't want to apply at the time of printing the object, so you can apply it at this place also. Okay, so you can keep the whole map function inside the list constructor. Okay, you can do that also. So then also the output will be same. Basically same thing is happening. If you'll give it the list constructor over here inside the print function, then whatever the iterator is generated by the map function, that will, the list constructor will convert that. Okay, if we'll give it directly over here, so what will happen? Whatever the output the map function is generating, that will be automatically converted into a list, and the list object will be directly stored in the square. So whenever you will print a square, so you will get this value only. Okay, someone has, okay, yeah, Iron Batra is correct. Okay, someone is saying please run a quick recap on higher order functions. Okay, wait. So I hope Isaac, Matthew, you have understood the lambda function. Okay, so let's start with the higher order functions. Guys, just I'm quickly giving a okay recap. See, higher order functions are basically a type of, you can say they are also a type of functions only. Okay, but the main thing about these functions are that they can take another function as an argument. Okay, so the functions who are capable of taking another function as an argument is called as higher order functions. Second point, it, or the functions who are capable of returning a function as a result. they can also be called as a higher order functions, or the functions who can perform both, that functions can also be called as higher order functions. So simple thing about higher order functions are that functions which take another function as a parameter and returns a function as a result can be called as a higher order function in Python. Okay. And guys, uh, there is one more important thing about Python, that in Python, the functions which we create, like def, add, or def, any user defined functions which we create, all the functions can be a higher order functions. Yeah, by default, the user defined functions in Python, you can create it, means they are capable of taking a function as a parameter. Okay, so that example I have shown you in this code snippet. Okay, as you can see, I have created a function def greet which is just returning hello, and then I've created one more user defined function call underscore function which is taking a function func as a parameter and it returning that function also. Okay, now, whenever I'm calling that function, I have to just pass another function. So in our case, I have created greet, so I'm passing greet. If you have created some other function, you can pass that function, and whatever that function is performing, that will be uh, the output. Okay. Now there is one more example in which we are returning one function inside a function. As you can see, we have taken an outer function, and inside the outer function, we have taken one more inner function. The inner function is doing what? Is just returning that inside inner function, a string. And after coming out of the inner functions, inside the outer function, we are returning the inner function. Okay. And here we are just simply doing what? We are calling the outer function, storing it in an object called func. And when we are printing the func with the parenthesis, means we are printing the func parameter. So then what we are getting? We are getting inside inner function, means this inner function is getting executed. Okay. Now, then there are some built-in which are directly created, means which is directly in Python, the built-in higher order functions. Okay. So we have talked about map. Okay. So map does what? Map applies a function to all the items in an iterable. Okay. So map is basically used to apply a particular function to each item of an iterable. Okay. And an iterable can be anything. It can be a list also, it can be a string also, it can be tuple, set, and dictionary. Okay. And this is the way, okay, how a map function works. Now I hope it is clear to you. Now what we can do, let's move in more detail. Okay. uh so, oh, it's okay, bro. Now let's talk about the filter function. Okay, so what we can do, let's first see the map function, then filter function, then the reduce function. Okay, and when these three functions, we'll see one example of each of them, then we'll solve questions, okay, based on these three higher order functions, then it will be more clear. So now let's just see the filter. Okay, the filter higher order function. So basically this filter higher order functions, it eliminates by condition. Okay, so basically when we create a function, so that function will be something like that, that it should eliminate. Okay, it should eliminate the variables. Okay, so purpose to use this is basically uh, whenever we have to filter elements in an iterable based on any condition. Okay, so then we have to use a filter function. And one more important thing with this filter function is that it returns only those elements from the iterable that evaluate to true. Okay, so I hope you are getting this point. Okay, what is the purpose of this filter function? This purpose of this filter function is that it returns only those elements from the iterable that evaluates to true, means that satisfies the condition which we have given. Okay, so only those elements will be printed. So for this, we can take a simple example, okay? Let's take again a nums list, okay? And let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay? Let's just store elements from 1 to 8, okay? And what we are going to do, we will basically use this filter function to filter the odd ones out, okay? Means basically we are going to filter the odd ones. So only the evens one will be printed. So I'll create an object to store it. Okay. Now one more important thing, that this also returns a filter object only. Okay. This is also going to return an iterator. Okay, and the memory address of that iterator. It is not going to return a list. So you have to explicitly convert your output into a list. So it's again the same thing. If you want to use list here, so you can use it here, or if you want to use list in the output, so you can use on the even at the time of printing also. Okay, that also you can do. It's now this choice is I'm leaving to you guys. Okay, but I will use here only. Okay, map. Okay, we are not going to use map. This is filter question, filter, and we have to only print the even ones. So now filter also takes two parameters, first the function, and then second parameter is the iterable name, same as the map function. So function, we have no function to filter the even ones, so we'll create a lambda function. Okay, lambda x, and x 2 equals to 0. Okay, and then we'll give the iterable nums, and let's print events. So 2, 4, 6 set. This is our output. Okay. Now in filter, you will see what was the exact list. By default list is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And what is now after using filter, what is the list now? So you will see that 4 values are removed. It means it is filtering out. Okay, and it is storing only those items which are fulfilling the condition, which are true. Okay, which are satisfying the condition. Only those items are stored here. So that is the use of filter. Okay, then there is one function, one higher order function called as reduce, but we cannot use this reduce directly. This reduce is basically present in some library called as func tools. Okay, I'll show you how to use it, so don't worry. Let's see the use of reduce. Okay, so whenever you are using the reduce higher order function, so it reduces to a single value. Okay, so whenever you are using this reduce higher order function, so what job it is going to perform, it basically going to reduce your iterable to a single value. Okay, so same syntax is there for reduce also. Reduce also takes one function as a parameter, and then the second parameter it takes is the iterable. But the task it perform is means the purpose is that it is going to apply a function cumulatively, cumulatively to the items of a sequence. Okay, from left to right. Okay, and one more thing, it is going to apply to the items from left to right. Okay, and in such a way it will be applied that it is going to reduce the sequence to a single value. So in which cases you can use it? Suppose you have to perform addition inside your list items, so then you can use it. If you have to perform some multiplication, then you can use it. Okay, so let's see an example, then it will be more clear. Okay, so first of all, what I have said you, that it is not directly present in Python. It is present in one library called as func tools. So you have to import it from there. So from func tools, import reduce. Okay, and when it is imported, then what you can do, Then let's say we have a list with us. Let's take a simple list of 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will be easy for us to evaluate the values also. Okay. And in this, we have to use reduce. Now this also takes two parameters, function and the iterable name. So what I want to do, I want to perform multiplication between the items of our list nums. Okay. So so for this, I'll need two arguments, x and y, so that each time I will take one value, okay, and I'll iterate and I'll perform the multiplication. And what I want to do, I want to perform multiplication and what iterable nums, and I'll print product. Okay, so you can see 1, 2, 2, 2 into 3, 6, and 6 into 4, 24. So 24 is our output. That is correct. Now here, if you see, we are not getting a list. Okay, we are not getting a list, and we are not using a list constructor also. Why? Because the output is already in a single value. Okay, so because of that, it is not generating, and reduce don't generate an iterator. So because of that also, we don't need a list constructor to convert it into a list. Okay, guys, I hope you have understood the higher order functions map, filter, and reduce. Okay, so if you have understood it, now let's do what? Let's solve some questions. Okay, means some problems, and in that we will need the use of map, filter, and reduce. And based on that, when we will solve it, it will be more clear. Okay. Now, before moving to some questions, guys, first answer these questions, okay? In yes and no. Can a higher order function return a function as its result? Yes or no? Okay. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So it's correct. Now, the next question is, are higher order functions limited to working with numerical data? Okay. Is it so that higher order functions are can only work with numerical data? Yes or no? Okay. No. Yeah. No is the correct answer. So those who have said no, correct. Okay, guys. Your next question is, do higher order functions increase the complexity of code? Yes or no? Okay. So there are there is yes and no both in the chat. Okay. Okay. Now only knows. So no is the correct answer. They higher order functions does not create complexity. Okay. Actually, it makes it more the code, the whole code, the higher order functions makes it more easy and convenient. As you can see, you can see the use case of map also. It's doing what? It's just applying a function to all the items in such a easy manner. Okay. So it actually does the opposite. Okay. Okay. So that's all. Okay. These were all the questions for this set. Now let's just do what? Let's just start solving some problems of map, filter, and reduce higher order functions. Okay. HOFs. So let's say we have a list with us. Okay. 5, 10, and 15, and 20. And what is our problem? Our problem is that we have to add 10 to each number, okay, or item. Okay, so let's create an object result list. Okay, and now as you guys know that add 10 to each number or item, it means what? In every item we have to perform the same thing. So we have to use what? We have to use map, okay? Because we have to apply it to each item, okay? Now inside map, let's create a method for this, okay? So lambda x, and in x we'll add 10, simple. And what is the iterable name? Iterable name is nums, print result, okay? So in 5, 10 got added, 15, 20, 25, and 30 is our output. Okay. Now, our next problem is uh, we have a list with us that is called as words. Okay, someone has give the code in the chat. Yes, you are correct. So we have a list of words. So let's create the square braces. Okay. Now, this is the list of words. Okay. What we have to do, we have to keep only those words who are longer than 3 characters. Okay. So keep words longer than 3 characters. Okay. So we are going to keep only those. Now, guys, okay, chat, now please reply which higher order function will be used here. Map, filter, or reduce. Okay. So people are saying filter. Yes, filter. Now, those who have understood, so they are replying filter. Those who have not understood, so for them, why filter? Because here we only need those words who are greater than 3 character. Okay, so that's why we have to filter here. Okay, out of this whole list, we have to filter. So because of that, we are using the filter HOF. So again, now let's create the lambda function for this. So length of x, and if it is greater than 3. Okay. What is the iterable name? Iterable name is words. So code and Python, these are the two words which are who are greater than 3 characters, longer than 3 characters. So yeah, okay. Yes, correct. Aryan Batra, you are correct. Okay. Okay, guys. Uh, Now we have a list of numbers 5, 1, 7, 3. Okay. And what we have to perform, basically, we have to find the maximum number. Okay, we have to find the maximum number. out of these four numbers present in our four items present in our list. Okay. So now guys, can you tell me what we have to use now? Which HOF we will use now? Okay. So reduce. Someone has said reduce. Yes, you are right. Okay, one more. So basically we are going to use reduce. Okay. Now how we are going to use reduce, let's see that. Okay, someone has said filter. So those who have said reduce, yes, you guys are correct. Okay, other than filter, other than reduce is wrong. Okay. Now, how we are going to use reduce? We have to create the lambda function. And what we'll do, we will continuously compare the two values. Okay. So at first time, we will compare 5 and 1. Out of this, now 5 will be x, 1 will be y. Okay. Then the comparison will happen. Here, the x is greater. So now out of this 5 and 1, there will be one value generated, that is 5. Then this 5, which is the greater value, that will be compared with 7. Then then the 5 is x and 7 is y. Then again it will be compared. Then we'll get y. Okay, because 7 is greater. And then again 7 will be x and 3 will be y. And then it will be again the comparison will happen. And at the end we'll get 7. Okay. Okay. Let's again see some more questions. Let's take nums, a list with us. Okay. In which I'll store some random values. Okay, someone has commented that use and sample variable. Bro, can you write the code here because I'm not getting it? Okay. So our next problem is that we have a list of items with us in which I have taken random values. Okay. Now our problem is that we have to only print numbers greater than 10. Okay. So let's create result. And guys, now tell me which HOF to use. Okay. Just reply it quickly so that I should get an idea that you guys are getting it. Okay, so filter. Very good. Filter. Okay, someone has given the code also. Great. Okay, so only two values are greater than 10, so we are getting only two values. Okay. Okay, now we have a list of words. So I'll take some random words here. Let's say any word. Yeah. Now our problem is that what we have to do here, we have to get the lengths of each word. Okay. So guys, quickly tell me which HOF to use. Yes, correct. Map. Okay. So let's use map. Okay. Now our next problem is that we have a list. Okay, guys, pay attention here. Now, our problem is we have two lists with us, list A and list B. Both of them we have numbers okay as an items. Okay, and in both of them there are three items. Now, what we want to perform, we have to combine these two lists. Okay, element wise. For combining it, we can perform addition also. Okay, we can perform addition too. So let's see how we are going to do that. Okay, guys, tell me which function we are going to use, which HOF we are going to use. Okay, one has said map, one is saying reduce. Okay, another one is also saying reduce. Can we use unpack? Can we use unpack and the concatenate? Uh, Unpacking is basically in tuples. Okay, it is a list. First, we have to convert this list uh, into a tuple using the tuple constructor. And then we can unpack it, and then we can concatenate it. That is to a too long process. We don't want long processes. We are using HOF. No, not yes. So the people who have said map, yes, we are going to use map. Okay, map lambda. Okay, we are going to take two arguments. Okay, and we'll do the addition between the values x and y. And now you will see that we are going to put both iterables a and b together. Okay, and then we'll print result. So addition between the items will be performed. 5, 7, and 9. Yes, okay. Now let's move to the next problem. We have a list of words with us. Now our problem is that we want only though oh, we want only those values that start with A. Okay. So we want only those items which are starting with A. So result list. Okay. And do you guys want to tell that what to use here? Okay, people are saying filter, filter. Yeah, obviously. So those who are saying filter, it's correct. Filter. Okay. Now, filter, then we are putting a lambda function, lambda x. Okay, argument is x. Then in x, what we are going to do, we are going to use a method of the strings. Okay, that the method name is starts with. Okay, so this method basically checks that that string is starting with that particular value or not. So here the value will be a. Okay, and then we'll give the iterable name and then result. Okay, so apple and apricot. Yeah, that's also a good thing. Okay, you can do this also, or someone in the chat, Aryan Batra has given one more code that you can do what, as you guys know that a string is also a sequence of characters, so you can take this also, you can use this way also. Okay, this is also going to give you the same output. Okay. Yeah. Or you go with the starts with also. So those who know the string method starts with, you can go with that. Or those who know this method, accessing method, so you can go with that also. Okay, someone in the chat has someone question. Can you please tell me what if just need the numbers, not addition? Okay, so okay, in this one, in the map one. Okay, so if you only need the number, okay, not the addition, means you don't want 1 plus 4, you want 1 and 4 together. Am I right? So then what you can do, then basically you have to just add one a string constructor over here. Okay, put it over here, str, like this. Okay, so now your output will be this: 1 4 together, 2 5 together, and 3 6 together. I hope you got your answer. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, we have a list with us, that is, I'll take numbers from 1 to 1 2 3 4, then 9, then 16, then 18. Okay, like this. Now our problem is that we want the numbers that are perfect squares. Okay, so numbers that are perfect squares, we only want that numbers. Okay. Okay, so and the list of items is given, and we want only the perfect squares. Okay, so how we can do that? So for this, I'll do what? I'll go with a module called as math, because I'm going to use a function present or a method present in the math library. Okay, or the math module. And in the result, what we are going to do, so here also we are going to use the filter only. Okay, because the question is numbers that we only want numbers that is perfect square. Okay, so it means there will be some filtration over here. Okay, so that's why we are using filter HOF. Then we'll create a lambda function x. Okay, and we'll do what? We'll use the int method. Then we'll use math dot sqrt. It is a function present in the math module, and the function full form is uh square root. Okay, and what we are doing, we are putting inside the integer method. Okay, so that when it will be multiplied with, means first we are doing the square root of x. Okay, suppose if there is 4, so square root of 4 is 2. Okay, then if it is not a number, so then we are converting into a number, and then we are doing the square of it, and if the square matches the x, okay, matches the iterable value inside the item, so then we'll consider it as a perfect square. So 1 4 9 and 16, these are the numbers which are a perfect squares. Okay, means if we'll do the square root of these numbers, so we'll get our exact integer values. That for 4 we are getting 2, for 9 3, and for 16 we'll get 4. Because again, you have commented like I was asking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But that was not the question. We don't want a single list. What if we have two lists? Then I was showing that if you have two lists, then how you can combine both the lists. That was the problem. In one list, we already know that we can use directly map or filter or reduce. You can directly use it. But what if you have two lists? So then, okay, you want to join like this, that the output should be like this. Okay, okay. Bro, uh, Samarth HS, if you want the output like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so why you want to use map function then? Okay, then you can directly do like this. Wait, let me show you. Let's create a result, and in the result, just do like this, A plus B. Okay, so your output will be like this. You don't need then map function to do that. Okay, or if you want to specifically use map only, so then you have to use one more method from, I think, from the chain, from the iter tools module, you have to import chain. Okay, and from chain you have to use from underscore iterable method. Okay, then it is possible. So why you want to go to do so complex? Just add the two lists if you want to do like this, if you want output like that. Okay, so yeah, I hope you have got your solution. Okay, okay, someone has said please recap on the last exercise. Okay, bro, in this one, numbers that are the perfect squares. Okay, so let me first correct the. Okay, this is your question. We want the numbers that are perfect squares. Okay, and we have a list of items, a list of numbers with us in which we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 16, and 18. Okay, I have stored like this. Now, out of these numbers, we have to check that which numbers are the perfect squares. Okay, by doing square root of these numbers, we are getting an exact integer value. Okay, so we want only those numbers. So that is the meaning of perfect square. Okay, now how to achieve that? For that, what we are doing, first of all, inside the filter, the main thing is the function, that what is the lambda function. Okay, now in the lambda function, first of all we have to write lambda, then we have taken an argument x. Now what will be the expression? I think that you will be confused on the expression only. See, in the explanation, what we are doing, first of all, we have taken a integer function. Okay, integer constructor. Now what is the role of this integer constructor? See, I'll show you, then only it will be more clear for you. If we have 5.5, so this is going to give you 5. So I hope you have understood. If we have if we have any floating value, so this integer function is going to convert this floating value into a integer value. Okay, So it's basically going to truncate after point. After point, whatever the value is, this integer constructor just truncate that value. Okay, that deletes that value. So first of all, we have taken the integer. Then inside the integer, we have used the square root function. Square root function from this math module. So there is a math module, math library in Python. So we don't need to install it. You have to just write import math. It's by default with Python 3.11 version and above. It is by default there. And in that we have stored the x. We have put the x. So we are doing the square root of x. Okay. So for each item, uh, the square root will happen. Okay. And whatever the square root will get, suppose for 2 the square root will be some decimal value. Okay, in decimals it will come. So now this integer function will do that. It will remove after point all the values. So it will convert it into an integer value, and then it will do the square of that value. And by doing the square of that value, if you will get any value out of this list, okay, so that will be called as a perfect square. Okay, that's we are matching with x. And then we have given the nums iterable, and we are printing the result. So for 1, that's why 1 is there, because 1, everything 1 square is also 1 only. For 2, now you'll see there is no 2 and 3, because there is no perfect square for 2 and 3, because they are very small values. Now for 4 there is a square. A perfect 4 is a perfect square. Why? Because the square root of 4 is 2. Okay. So I hope you have understood now. Let's move to the next question. Okay. Let's move to the next question. That is, we have a list of words. It's okay, brother. So there is hello. Okay. Then there is a blank string. Now, what we want to do here, our problem is that we want to concatenate the list of strings. Okay. So basically, we want to concatenate a list of strings. Okay. So this is a list of strings in which we have stored hello world. So hello, then there is a space, then there is a world, and then there is exclamation marks. And we want to concatenate this list of strings together and make it a single word. Okay, make it a single word. So now I think you guys are clear that single word, it means it is, we have to use reduce. Okay, so let's say result equals to reduce. Now how will be our lambda function? So simple, we'll take two parameters, then we'll do what? X plus y, simple, and words, and let's print result. Okay, so hello world. Because all the items in the strings are a string only. So if you do x plus y, so there will be no error, because this is a string concatenation. This is not a normal mathematical addition. It is a string concatenation. So it will be done like this. Okay, and you will get your desired output. Okay, next question. We have a list of numbers with us. Okay, 10 to 1 like this. And our problem is that we want to subtract all numbers from left to right. Okay, so we have to perform subtraction and from left to right. So we can use reduce. Okay, so let's create a result. So we are getting 7 because 10 minus 2 is 8 and then 8 minus 1 is 7. So we are getting at the end 7. Okay. Now, next question is, now we are getting, now we'll solve some interesting questions. Okay. So we have temperatures in Celsius format. Okay. 0, 20, 30, and 40. So we have temperatures in Celsius format and we have stored it inside a list. Now, what we have to do, we have to convert the temperatures from Celsius to Fahrenheit. Okay. Now we have to convert all the temperatures. So map. Now what we are going to do inside map, well, we have to do a lambda function and that function will convert it into a Fahrenheit. So how we can convert Celsius to a Fahrenheit? Those who have those who know the formula, that's good. If you don't know the formula, so I write the formula for you guys. Okay. So first of all, whatever the temperature is, that is C, that is get multiplied by 9 by 5. Okay. And then the resultant will be added with 32. Okay. Wait here. 32. And then we will give temp C in the iterable. Let's print result. Okay. So 0 degree Celsius is 32 degree Fahrenheit. So everything is converted. So this is the basically the formula is playing the important role here. The expression. Okay. So next question is that we have a list of numbers with us. Okay. I'll take some random values. Okay. Now what we have to perform here, we have to print only the positive numbers. Okay. Only the positive numbers. So now I think you guys now know that print only positive numbers out of this list. So obviously we have to perform filter. So that's why we'll use filter HOF. So filter lambda x and x will be greater than 0 and nums. Let's print result. So 4 and 7 are the values. Now you guys will say why not 0? Because we are saying only greater than 0, not greater than equal to 0. So because of that 0 or 0 is not counted here. And one more thing, that 0 is not a positive number nor a negative number. It is just okay. Okay. So we have a list of digits, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And our what we have to do here, we have to basically uh, create a number from the given digits. Okay. If you guys are confused, so I'll just give you the output, that how the output will look like. The output will look like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Means here 1, 2, 3, 4 are items of the list, and they are individual items. But we want it 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, a number 1234. We want that. So we want a single value. Okay. So for single value, as you guys know, we have to use reduce. Okay. So lambda xy. Now what should be our expression? Okay. We have to write our expression in such a way that it should do what? That it should not change the number. Okay. The digits should not be changed. Okay. As you can see, the items are 1, 2, 3, 4, and the number is also 1, 2, 3, 4 only. So they should not be changed. We want the exact value, but not as an item, we want as a number. So then what we can do? Then we have to apply a logic over here, that what if we are doing, if we are multiplying the x with 10 and then we are adding the y to it. Let's see how it will be done. So if we are multiplying, suppose, okay, Aryan Batra, you're correct, but it will be inside a string. We don't want a string. We want it as a number only, as an integer value only. Okay. So then the logic is that what if I'll show you, for now the x is 1 and the y is 2. So what if we'll multiply, in x will multiply with 10. So what will be the value? So the value will be 10. Okay. And then if we'll perform addition with y, so then the output will be 10 plus, and the output will be 10 plus, what is the y? 2. So it will be 12. Okay. Then what if we'll multiply again, 12 will be our output from this, and then the next value will be 3. So again, now our x is 12 and y is equal to 3. Okay. If we'll multiply in x with 10, again, if we'll do that, so what will happen? 10, the resultant will be 120. What if in 120 we add 3? So if we'll do that, it will be 123. Okay. And what if we, again 123 will be x and 4 will be y. If we'll again in 123 will multiply with 10. Okay. So 1230 will get, and y is equal to 4. If we'll again add these values, so we'll get 1234. Okay. So how about this logic? So let's multiply each time x with 10. Okay. And then add y to it. Okay. Y to it. And give the digits. print result. Okay, so you will get a number 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, if you see the type, yeah, you can convert it into using the integer constructor. You can convert it using an integer constructor. Okay, you can use that way also, or you can use my way also if you want to do. Okay, okay, guys. Uh, Next question. Let's say we have nums. We have a number list with us that is 1, 2, and 3. And what we have to perform here, we want the sum of squares. We want the sum of squares. Means like this: 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square. Okay. So addition of 1 squares, 2 square means additions of all the items of this list. Okay. So okay. So it means at the end we'll get a single value. Okay. So we can do like this: reduce lambda x y colon x. Okay. X square plus y. Okay. Because at the end we want the addition also. So yeah, let's print result and let's see the output. Okay, so it will give us an error, and that error is that reduce expect at least 2 arguments. We got 1. Ah, we have not given nums. Okay, so 12. Okay, now tell me guys, this is correct or incorrect? This output 12 is correct or incorrect? Okay, guys, tell me it is correct or incorrect. Okay, incorrect. Okay, one has said incorrect. Okay, incorrect. So what is the correct? What should be the correct output? Okay, it is incorrect. So what should be the correct output? Okay, 14. Someone has said 13, no 13. Actually, the output should be 14. Okay. So what is the problem in the code? Let's perform the analysis. Then only we can why we are getting 12. Okay. So what we have done, we are applying the square on x. Okay. So 1 square and then plus 2. Okay. So 1 square is what? 1 square is 1 plus 2, 3. Okay. Now x is equal to 3 and y is equal to what? Y is equal to 3. Okay. Now x is 3. Again, square of x will be 9 plus 3. So 9 plus 3 is 12. So we are getting 12 here. Okay. Now in this way we are getting 12. Let's change it and let's make it here on the y. Yeah. So someone has given the correct code that we have to put it on y. So I don't think that now we have to do the analysis. Again, should I do this analysis? Or you guys can do it that now we are getting 14. Okay. So this is also very mandatory that at which one you have to apply the operation. Okay. This exponential operation means the square you performed on y, then only you get the correct, okay, output. So that is also very important. Okay, guys. Uh, According to this logic, now tell me the if you do the square of all these three numbers and if you do the addition, then what should be the correct output of 2, 3, 4? Okay, let me do this for you guys. Okay, so 2 is 4 plus 9 plus 16. Okay, so 16 plus 9 is 25 plus 4, 29. But if we are using this way, this method, okay, so we are getting 27. Okay, you guys can also try it. We are getting 27. Now how to fix it? Okay, that is the main thing. Because in that previous example, as Aryan Matra has given the correct code, but that was correct for that specific example only. Because at that place there was 1. So 1 square was actually not happening. Okay, 1 square was not happening. 1 was left. So 1 square is also 1. So that's why it was not counting at that time. But now when I change the value to some other value greater than 1, so now it making an impact in our result. Okay. So initially it should be 29, means the output for this should be 29, but we are getting it 27. Now let's understand the incorrect one, that how we are getting 27. Then I'll tell you the correct way. Okay. See, according to this expression, now tell me, initially the x will be 2 and y is what? Y is 3. So it will look like this. Uh, we are doing the square on y. Okay. So our x will be remain like this. So 2 plus and square of 3 is 9. So our output will be 11. Okay. So now we have 11. Now our x is 11 and y is 4. Again, we are doing the square of 4. So 11 plus 11 plus what? 11 plus 16. Okay, 16, and output will be 27. Okay, but actually what we want as our output? Our desired output should be 29. Now, where is this code incorrect? This code is incorrect at the first place because it's not doing the square of 2. It's taking 2 as 2 only. Okay, so here the code becomes wrong. So what is the solution of this? So then the solution belongs inside the reduce HOF only. Okay, the reduced HOF has one more parameter capability. One, it has total 3 parameter capabilities. One, the function, second, the iterable, and third is called as a initializer. Okay, so let me do what? Yeah, I'm telling you that only, telling you the code only. Okay, so now the reduce function HOF will, if you look at the syntax of reduce, so it is somehow like this. First, it takes the function, then it takes the iterable, and the third parameter it takes is the initializer. Okay. Yeah, I just forgot the spelling of initializer. Okay. Yeah, so now I remember it. Initializer. So third parameter is initializer. What do you mean by this initializer? Initializer means where to start from. Okay, where to start from means what should be our initial value of x, that is called as initializer. So we are mentioning that our initial value of x should be 0. Okay, we're initializing to that. Now the initial, when we'll take the initial value of x to 0, so now let's just calculate it and let's find it. So when we have said that initial value of x should be 0, so now it will look like this. So now y will be 2 at the first time. So square of, so resultant of this will be 0 plus 2, that will be 2. Okay, now our x is updated to 2. Oh, sorry, square of 2. Okay, so here it will be 4, and then this will be 4, and now our updated x will be 4 and y will be 3. So square of 4 plus 9 will be what? 13. 13, yes, 13. And then now next updated x will be 13 and y will be 4. So like this, 13 plus 16 will be equal to 29. So 29 will be our correct output. Let's execute this. So we'll get 29. Okay. Now I hope you guys have understood the full potential of the reduce HOF. Okay. Okay. Now one more thing. The initializer, you can set it to your own. It's not compulsory that you will take zero only. It depends on your situation. It depends on your problem that what you'll say. Now you have seen here when I've set the initializer to 1, so output increased by 31. Okay, it becomes 30, but it should be zero only. For this problem, it should be zero. If there are some other problems, so then according to that you have to set your initializer. Okay, I have just shown you that the initializer can be anything. Okay, it depends on the problem or the situation. Okay, guys, let's go to the next question. That is, okay, we have words with us. Yeah. So, okay, guys, let's pay attention to the problem. So we have words with us, okay, and list of words. Now, what we have to do, we have to keep only those which are a palindrome, okay? Now, I hope everyone knows about palindromes. Okay, what are palindromes words? Palindromes are basically the words which are starting and ending. Both are same. Means if you are starting it from means if you're starting it from the starting part from the left side, then also it will be same. If you are starting it from the end side, means from the right side, then also the same word will be formed. Just for suppose madam, if you are starting from left side, so madam. If you are starting from the right side, then also madam. So madam, madam, okay. So madam is a palindrome. Same goes to level, okay. level. So if you are starting from left, level. If you're starting from right also, then also level. So same word will be formed if you will start from left or right side. So this is called as palindromes. So we have to keep only the words which are palindrome. Okay. So now from the question, I hope you guys have understood that what we have to use. Okay. Here the concept of filtration will come. We have to filter. So we'll use filter here. Okay. Now, what will be the lambda function? Okay. So lambda function will be like this. What I have said when I was explaining what is palindrome, I have said you one thing that from starting also and from ending also it should be same. Means if the particular word matches the original form and the reverse form, if the reverse form is also similar to or same as the normal form of that word, so then it is a palindrome. So x equals to, and I have shown you in the slicing that how the reversing is done. Okay, colon colon minus 1. I hope you guys remember it. Okay, and then we'll pass the words over here and we'll print result. So madam, level and race car are the words which are palindromes. Okay, guys. So now I have some questions for you guys. Okay, and as usual, you have to reply in yes and no format. Okay, yeah. So the question is reduce part of the built-in functions in Python 3? Okay, so most of the people are saying yes, but I don't know why you guys are saying yes because it is no. Uh, I think you guys have forgot it. See, I'll show you when at the first time I have used reduce, so I have used a code as you can see here, and I have told you also that it is present in func tool module, okay, func tool library. So from func tools, import reduce. So it's basically no. Okay. It is not a built-in function directly present in Python 3 version. It is present in a module called as functools. And in and once you have imported reduce, so you can use any number of time you want it. So that's why I have used it one time. So I was not using it. Yeah, it is a part of the functool library. Yes. Yeah. So I hope now you guys will remember it, okay? That func tool means the reduce is a part of func tools library, okay? From that you have to import, you import it, okay? So yeah. Okay, guys. Your next question is, can map be used with multiple iterables? Yes or no? Okay, so people are saying yes. So yes, it is a correct option as we have seen also A and B example. So yeah. Okay, so your next question is, does filter HOF modify the original iterable? Okay, no, yes, no is the correct option. No, filter does not modify the original iterable. Okay, Okay, so last question for today is reduce HOF used to apply a function to an iterable and reduce it to a single value? Yes or no? Okay, some people are saying yes, one no is also there. So those who are saying yes, you are correct, okay? That the reduce is used to apply a function to a iterable and reduce it to a single variable, okay? Yeah. Okay, guys, that's the time. Uh, thanks for watching the live session. Thanks for being there. Okay. I hope you have learned something, okay? And you get to know something new about Python, okay? So thank you. Thank you everyone for joining the live session. Okay. Thank you. So we'll see you in the next live session. Okay. Still then, stay tuned up. Bye, guys. Thanks, brother. Thanks. Thank you all. Thank you. Okay. Next topic will be related to this only. Okay. Because this is not over yet. Okay. We have seen the higher order functions, but there are more ways, means there are more built-in functions that they can be converted into an higher order functions. Okay, so we'll explore those functions also, and then we'll use these higher order functions with list comprehension. So this topic is not over yet. Okay, it was the small part of the topic. Okay, actually this topic is going to be connected with yesterday's live session. Okay, yeah. When is the next live session? Uh, yeah, today I just informed everyone very late in our all social media platforms about the live session. So yeah, maybe tomorrow. I think tomorrow, yeah. Whenever the live session is there, I just report you guys, means on all the social media platforms. Okay, 1 or 2 hour before, or maybe 4 5 hours before also. Yes, yes, Karthik, I'm replying to you only. Next session, uh, I'm not sure, but maybe tomorrow it can happen. Whenever it will happen, it will be between 5 to 6 p.m. only. Okay, mostly 5:30. Just stay connected with us in our all platforms, so we notify in all our platforms. Okay, yeah. Okay, guys, let's end this session. Thank you once again. Thank you to everyone for joining this. I hope you learned something. Okay, about Python. Thanks, guys. Bye. Yes, Karthik, I am also trying to do this in a daily basis. For now, it will be yes, yes, Karthik. For a couple of days, it will be on daily basis. Yeah. Okay, guys. Bye, bye, bye. I'm ending the stream.